I would like to thank you very much, my dear brother, for this kind invitation. No wonder that I am really pleased to be with you in this webinar, and I would like to thank the Global Muslim Council for organizing this webinar that make the world small village.
جعل جعلت العالم قرية صغيرة. ثم أود أن أشكر
I would like to thank and present the team, the organizers for this conference in Abu Dhabi. No wonder, I hope we meet face to face. The topic I will speak to you about is about Muslims in Greece. And I wish to present this PowerPoint for our dear audience to listen and see what we are presenting.
أريد أن
In
أنبه
fact, I would like to speak about 2 points. The first one about the human fraternity document, where was a great effort to declare the 4th of February as a human fraternity document. And it's a reminder for the originality. Prophet Muhammad was the first person to do it in Al Madinah. So I would like to thank all the people working in this council, and especially His Excellency Dr. Ali Rashid Al Naimi, and also the Secretary Dr. Al Bishari, and we pray to Allah to protect them. In fact, the 4th of February, which was accepted to be the International Day for a Human Fraternity, it's a renewal for the foundations that Prophet Muhammad laid with his companions and also Khalifas till our day to day. Also, we talk about the Christians, for example, who live in Syria, Jordan, in Egypt. We as Muslims, we live in Greece, and the number here. So as there's people, they are they have different belief and they are living in the Muslim world. On the same level, there are other people who are Muslims living in a non-Muslim countries. So Greece, with its great civilization, can be a model for other countries to lay down the common living and coexistence between Muslims and non-Muslims.
يمكنك الآن مشاركة الملف
Now you can share, and our technical team, they will accept the sharing. So you can do share screen
يمكنك مشاركة الملف من عند
and share your presentation.
في شير سكرين لونه أخضر.
There is a button share screen with a green button with an arrow up.
أيوه
Yes,
ممتاز.
great.
طيب
تفضل الشاشة واضحة جدا تفضل.
Yes, very clear. Yes. So these things that maybe people they see the results
التي يتوصل إليها المجلس العالمي للمجتمعات
where the council reached,
ولا يدري كم الهم
and you can't imagine
الناس يعملون ويحاولون
the people
يصلوا لهذه
who
النتائج
work to reach to your result in the council,
يحاول أن يقدم ويرى
everyone
الذي
who try
يستطيع
to
أن
do hard, to work hard, and to
الصعوبات
appreciate the difficulties
الدائم
and the
والتحدي
continuous work
في
day
كيفية
and
وصول
night
النتائج
to achieve your result that you
يدركون
achieved,
جميعا
which is make us all happy.
أن العالم المجتمعات
And
المسلمة
other Muslim communities,
توافق في تجزيم
they agree
العصبية
on
كل هذه
condemning
والمبادئ
the speech of hate. And
آه،
also, we thank
أسسها
Allah
موجودة في الشريعة
that we
الإسلامية
have the foundations in the Islamic
لا
Sharia,
تكفي أن
but
تكون
it's not enough
هذه القواعد
that these rules and foundations,
تنفيذ ومن
we need to work
القوانين
and
لذلك
abide
كما
to
قيل
them. And as it was said,
يمكن أن يحصل بالسلطان ما لا يمكن أن
you
يحصل
can
به
achieve with the ruler what's not achieved with the whole Quran.
المحاضرة التي أود
So,
أن
my lecture today,
نقدمها للإخوة
which I would like to present it to you
وللمشاهدين
and for our
والمستمعين الكرام
dear audience,
عن المسلمين في اليونان
about Muslims in Greece.
وذلك تحت رعاية كريمة
And
المجلس
it's
الأعلى
under a kind
للمساعدة
patronage from the World Muslim Communities Council.
المبارك
And
الذي
on this
يمر
blessed
فيه
days,
يوم الاثنين من كل أسبوع
the Monday on Monday.
نحيي هذا اليوم
So this is a
بمولد
great
النبي صلى الله
day
عليه وسلم
because the Prophet Muhammad also was born
كل يوم
in
الاثنين
this day
ونجدد كل
every
جمعة
Monday and also every Friday,
المسلمين
which is a celebration for Muslims.
في الحقيقة عندما نريد أن
In
نتحدث عن
fact, we
المسلمين
would like to speak about Muslims.
ليس معنى ذلك
It's
أننا
not mean
نترك أو
to leave
لا نبالي
or even not care about non Muslims.
عنوان
On the
المحاضرة
contrary,
والمؤتمر
here we talk
هو
about Muslims.
وإلا كما قال الله
Otherwise,
سبحانه
as
وتعالى في
Allah said to
كتابه
us in His
يا
great
أيها
book,
الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر
oh people,
وأنثى
we created you from male and females, and we make you tribes to introduce yourself to each other.
هذه الناحية
And the best
وهذه
is the purity from in Allah.
ننظر إلى القضايا
So with this, we look to
نتبع
the different
هذا النداء
issues.
الإلهي
This call
الذي
from Allah
وأننا خلقنا الله سبحانه
that Allah
وتعالى
created
من ذكر
us
وأنثى
from male and female,
وكوننا قبائل وشعوب
and
ليس لله
also we
غرض
are
في
tribes
أن
and
نتعارف
nations to
نحن
know each
ليس
other,
للغرض
not for another thing,
لكي يرى
not
بعضنا بعضا
to see
أو أن
ourselves in
يرى
different
بعضنا
way.
الآخر إن أكرمكم عند الله
As
أتقاكم
Allah said, the best is who believe
وكذلك
in a good way.
قول الرسول صلى الله
And
عليه
also as
وسلم
the Prophet Muhammad
يا
said,
أيها الناس
oh people,
هذا نداء عام لكل
this is
بشر
a general call.
ألا إن ربكم واحد وإن
Your
أباكم
God
واحد
is one and your
وما
Father
كان
is one.
لعربي على أعجمي
And there
ولا
is
لعجمي على
no
عربي
bitterness for Arab
ولا
on
أحمر
other
على
non-Arab,
ولا
or
أسود على
even
أحمر إلا
for
بالتقوى
red
أبلغت
race on
قال
black
صدق
race.
رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم
So do you
قال
understand that?
شاهد غائب
They said yes.
هذه
And he
الأسس
said,
التي
please
وضعها
tell who is not here. So this
الرسول
is the
صلى الله عليه
message
وسلم
from Prophet Muhammad,
وضع
peace be
هذا
upon
المنهج
him. And he
في
implemented
حياته
by
وهو
himself in
القدوة
his life. He is
الأساسية
the model, he is the basic model
للبشرية
for all
ولكل
humanity
المسلمين
and for
يمكن
all
أن
Muslims
يتأثرون بهذا
who
الدين
believe in
الحنيف
this religion.
وهذه
Also,
من ضمن الصور التي
these pictures,
نستدل بها
I would like to
على
share it with
أن
you,
الناس
indicate
سواسية
how
في
people,
أسنان المشط
they are equal,
وعلى أنه لا
like
فرق
the
بيننا
tooth of the comb.
فيما بيننا
There is no difference
كأفراد
between
مسلمين
us. We are all
هذه
people, we are all
المبادئ
human.
التي جاءت بها الإسلام
These
نحن
principles in Islam,
نطلب ونرجو
we ask and we say,
المسلمين في العالم
all Muslims,
يكونوا قدوة
please,
لهذه
you
المبادئ
need to be
التي
models for the
الإسلامية.
others.
ثم علينا أن
Also,
نعرف بأن
we
قول
need
الله
to know
سبحانه
when Allah said
وتعالى رحمتي وسعت كل شيء.
that my mercy
إذن لولا
accommodated
رحمة الله
everything.
سبحانه وتعالى
Without Allah mercy,
لهلكنا، وهذا رحمة من الله سبحانه وتعالى
we
أن
will vanish.
يجعل الناس
So,
العقلاء
this is a mercy from Allah
يتصرفون بعقولهم
to
وليس
let
بهوائهم
people
أنفسهم، وليس بما
behave with
يأمرهم
their
به
brains, with their
أنفسهم،
minds,
وليس بما
and not with their
يأمرهم
what they like, with their
الفوائد
desires.
الدنيوية
So they need
المادية.
to know the message in this
الآية
world.
الكريمة
And
التي
also another verse from the Holy Quran in Az-Zumar,
53 يقول
verse
الله
number
سبحانه وتعالى: قل يا عبادي
53.
الذين أسرفوا على
O
أنفسهم
people
لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله.
who commit mistakes,
فهذه الآية على
don't lose
الآية
hope.
يضع لنا
This verse
الأمل
show us
الدائم
that there
في
is a
غفر الله.
great hope
إن
till
الله
the
يغفر
last moment
الذنوب
that
جميعا.
Allah will tolerate all sins.
إذا مهما فعلنا
So,
ومهما قدمنا ومهما فرطنا
whatever
فإنه
we do in
بإمكاننا
this world,
أن نعود لربنا عز
we
وجل
can return
في
back
كل
to
لحظة.
Allah
فباب الله
in
سبحانه
all time.
وتعالى مفتوحة دائما.
So Allah's
يدعو
mercy is
يتجلى
open all the time,
برحمته في الليل
and His
وفي
mercy
مسيء النهار،
is at night
ويتجلى
for the sinner
برحمته
in the morning
ليتوب
to,
مسيء الليل.
to tolerate that.
فإذا استطعنا أن نضع هذه
So if we
الأسس
manage to lay down these
وهذا الفكر
foundations
الإيماني
and also
للأجيال
to
الماضية
let the new people understand it in the new
سنكون
generation,
القدوة الحسنة
who will be the good
للناس
model
جميعا،
for all people.
وسنكون بهذا
And with that,
قد قمنا بما يجب علينا حتى نكون من الذين
we will be
سينظر لهم الله سبحانه
that
وتعالى
Allah look
يوم
at
القيامة
us in the
ليس
day of
سوف
doom,
مال ولا بنون
where our
ولكن
money will
الله
not
سبحانه
help
وتعالى.
us except with the people with the
أيها
pure heart.
الإخوة، بداية أريد أن
At the beginning,
أكلمكم
I would like
عن اليونان،
to
لأن
speak to
أي
you
موقع
about
في
Greece.
اليونان
Where is it?
باللون الأخضر
Here, as you can
الغامق،
see in the dark green,
وكذلك هذا المنظر
and
الآخر
also
اليمين
this map,
بالجغرافيا
you can see the
لمملكة
geography
اليونان.
for our country, Greece.
ننظر من الأعلى،
This is from the top,
وهذا الصورة أقرب
and this picture is
لكي
closer.
نكون على أمر واضح عندما
So to be
نتحدث
clear,
عن
what to
اليونان،
speak about?
لأننا نتحدث عن هذا
We speak about
الجغرافيا
this country,
وعن
this
هذا
geography,
التاريخ
and this
الذي
history
نحن بصدده اليوم.
that we will
وهذا
talk about it today.
منظر آخر
This is another
خريطة
picture or map
اليونان،
for Greece,
وهذا سنحتاج إليه
and here we will need this one,
النقاط القادمة،
especially with the coming points,
سنضطر أن
as
نقسم
we will have
المسلمين
to talk about
الناحية
to
القانونية
divide their cases
إلى
according
ثلاثة
to the
نقاط.
legal aspect to 3 points.
هنا ثراكيا الذي نراه هنا،
Here you can see Astrakia
الجزيرة رودوس
and also Rhodos Island
والمسلمين في عامة اليونان.
and Muslims in whole Greece.
في الحقيقة
In fact,
على الناس جميعا
all
أن
people,
يعرفوا وأن
they
نعرف
need to know
بأن الحقوق
that the
لابد أن
rights
تكون مقننة.
should
قد
be
يكون الأمر
limited.
بمنتهى السهولة، ولكن
It
لم
can be
يكن
easy,
متفق عليه
but
وموافق
without
للقوانين،
agreement
لأننا قد
and also
نجد
abiding to the rules,
تطبيق
we
أو
will
تنفيذ
find
هذا
implementing
الشيء إن لم
or
يكن
getting this thing,
مقنن من الناحية
if it's
القانونية.
not legal,
إذا
it will be difficult.
نستطيع أن نقول
So
بأن
we can
لكل
say
مواطن
that for
سواء كان
each
مقيما
citizen,
سواء كان من
resident,
أصل اليونانيين أن
or
يعيش على
even
جميع أراضي
aboriginal
دولتنا
to live
في البر
on the land.
والبحر والجو أينما شاء.
Here we talk about lands,
لكن
air,
من
and
الناحية
also sea.
القانونية يمكن
But from a legal
إلى
aspect, we
ثلاثة
can divide it
أقسام.
to three sections.
أولا القسم الأول
The first
المسلمون
one,
الذين يعيشون
Muslims
في جزيرتي
who
رودوس
live in
وقوس.
Rhodos and Kos
والقسم الثاني
Islands. The second,
المسلمون الذين
Muslims
يعيشون
who
فيما
live
عدا جزيرتي رودوس
in
وقوس.
the other part
والقسم
except
الثالث
Rhodos and Kos and also
والقسم
outside of
الثالث
Thracia. The
المسلمون
third part,
الذين
the
يعيشون
Muslims
في
who
تراكيا
live
الشمال
in
الآن.
Thracia
أنا الذي أحدثكم
north of
الآن
Greece.
من هذه
And I
المنطقة.
am speaking to you from this region.
هنا كتبت هذه الملاحظة لكي
I wrote this
لا
note
يقول كل من هب ودب
for
ولم
everybody.
تأتي له فكرة أن ينطقه كل
If
من
you have an
يعرف
idea to speak about it or speak about reality,
ثم
you need to understand the
يكون
reality in order not to have impact
النفسية
on
للناس
the
لأن
psychological
كلامك هذا
impact because your
كلام
speech
آه، يضع الشعور الإنساني
put the human
كان
feeling,
مسلما أو غير مسلم
Muslim or non-Muslim,
يتهم
or even
الطرف الآخر أو يتهم الدولة التي لا تطبق
talking negatively about
شروط
person
هذه
or the
الأمة.
country for not giving this right for the others.
يصح
So if the
فبهذا
law allow,
نقول لابد للناس
it's good. If not,
والمسلمين أن
for
يلتزموا
Muslims and other people,
بهذه الحقوق
they need
وهذه القوانين.
to abide to these rules.
أولا هنا أود أن
First,
أقدم عن القسم الأول عن المسلمين
for people
في الذين يعيشون في
who
جزيرة
live in
رودوس وقوس
Rhodos and Kos Islands,
لأنهم لأن الإسلام دخل إلى
because Islam
رودوس
entered
قبل
Rhodos,
أن يدخل إلى منطقتنا.
and before it get to our part,
وهاتين الجزيرتين أيها
and
الإخوة
these two islands,
لهم حقوق
they
وقوانين
have rights and laws,
ولهم خصوصية.
and they have also
والمسلمين الذين يعيشون
specialities. And
خارج
Muslims who live out of
الجزيرتين
these
وفي
two
الدول
islands,
العربية لهم حقوق
they
أخرى.
have other rights.
إذا جزيرة
So,
رودوس وقوس
Rhodos
فيها
and
مسلمين
Kos Islands,
من
they are Muslims
الأصول التي كانت تخضع
from
الدولة العثمانية
the people who were under the
وعندما
Ottomani country,
أعطيت هذه
and they remained there after it was given to
إلى
Greece,
اليونان بعد
and
ذلك
after it was affiliated to
تحت
Greece,
سيطرة إيطاليا
after it
إلى
was under
لليونان
Italy, it was
مقابل
given to Greece
الأمور
in return
التي خسرتها
for the
الدولة
things
العثمانية. وهنا
that
نرى ها
Greece
هنا
lost.
الجزيرة
Here we can see
رودوس
the islands, Rhodos,
وهذا هو
and
خريطة أخرى
here we can see another
ومكان
map,
آخر لجزيرة رودوس.
another view for
هنا
Rhodos.
هذه
We
اللون
can see it, it's here
الأحمر
in pink
وكذلك
or
هذا
purple,
رودوس
and here we can find Rhodos
الأخضر.
in
وهنا
green.
نرى أن هؤلاء المسلمون
Muslims,
لهم
they have
مساجدهم.
their own mosques.
فهذا المسجد الذي نراه جامع سليمانية
This mosque, as
في
Sulaimaniya
الدولة
Mosque,
العثمانية
it's
وهذه
remained after
الرسالة
Ottomani, and here you can see the
وهذا
praise held
الجامع
in there,
وهذا الجامع يفتح
and it's open
أيام العيد
in
لأن
Eid
جامع آخر تقام
because
فيه
there's another mosque
الصلوات
where the
الخمس.
other five praises is held.
هذا هو جامع
Here,
باشا
Ibrahim Basha
الذي
Mosque.
يعمل خلال السنة 12 شهرا
This mosque work 12
وخمس
months a
صلوات
year,
تقام فيها الصلاة
5 prayers a day,
إمام أيضا.
and there is an imam here.
هذه المساجد مفتوحة
These
بناء على
mosques open
القوانين.
according to the rules,
وسنرى في
and we will
الفترة
see
القادمة
in different
أن هناك
slides
مساجد أخرى
that there are
في
other mosques
أماكن أخرى
in
ولكنها
different parts,
مغلق
but they are
لأنه لا يوجد
closed
قانون
because there isn't a law,
لأنها
For that it's closed
لم تبقى هناك مسلم في ذلك الوقت.
because there wasn't Muslims at that time. Here another view
لهذا الجامع
for this mosque,
هنالك منظر آخر
another view also
إبراهيم باشا
for Ibrahim Basha Mosque.
داخل
This is from inside
إبراهيم باشا، وهذا هو
for Ibrahim Basha Mosque.
الذي
And
يعمل في
this person, he is the Imam in Rhodos.
في خدمة الإنسانية.
He
انطلقنا
served
إلى
humanity.
جزيرة
After that,
الذي فيها
we move to
العديد
Qos,
من
where you can find Muslims
العهد العثماني، هذين الجزيرتين،
from Othmani state.
ومن إحدى الجوامع
And
جامع
this is Longa Mosque,
الآن، وهذا هو
which is not working now.
آخر في
This is another mosque. It's called Ghazi Hassan Basa Jazairi Mosque,
المسلمون حول
where
هذا
Muslims around this mosque,
وهذا منظر آخر
they are
لهذا
more.
الجامع
Another view, and this is the Imam for the mosque,
هذه الجزيرة.
work in this island.
أيها الإخوة، خلاصة الكلمة
In brief, for these two islands,
رودوس وقوس، المسلمون في جزيرتي رودوس
Muslims in
كانوا
these
هم
two
بالنسبة
islands,
للقانونية سواء.
they are the
لم يكن
same, they
هناك
are equal by law.
في هذه الجزيرتين
So in these
لكل
two
من جزيرتي
islands,
رودوس
they are
وقوس،
the same for Rhodos and
ولكل
Kos.
من الجزيرتين
For
في
these two
إمام
islands,
يقوم
there is
بالمسلمين،
Imam serving
ولكل من الجزيرتين
human and
له
Muslims,
أوقاف ورئيس
and there
الأوقاف.
is also
هذا رئيس الأوقاف هو الذي
awqaf available there,
يتكفل ويتحمل
which carry
الإمام أن
the
يأتي هنا
expenses for Imam,
ويتصرف
and
ويقوم
also
من الناحية المادية.
he organized, or the awqaf organized the financial matters. Muslims in these two islands,
يتربون على
they raise their
أهل السنة
children
والجماعة،
on
ويتعلمون
السنة والجماعة
الفقه الإسلامي على مذهب الإمام أبي حنيفة.
principles, and they implement Abu Hanifa
لهم أيضا مقابر
instructions. They have
في
their
مقبرة
also
في كلتا
cemeteries
الجزيرتين.
in these both islands.
طبعا أنا هنا أنص على
Of course,
المقابر
I would like
لأنه
to speak about these cemeteries
في
because
السلايدات أو
in other slides,
ستستمعون
or also you will hear
وتقرؤون
and see and
هناك
read
أماكن
that there are
يدفن فيها
places where
المسلمون،
Muslims
وليس
lived at,
حتى المقبرة
and they haven't got cemeteries,
هذه شكاوى،
and they complain about
وكما
this
سيأتي
situation.
ستخصص
And one day the government will allocate to them
لدفن
cemeteries
المسلمين.
to bury their dead people.
ومن صلاحيات الإمام أيضا في هاتين الجزيرتين
Also, there is power for Imam in these two
يقدم
islands
للجهات الرسمية
to present to the
التي
government. The Imam is considered
تعترف
an official Imam
الحكومة
accredited from the government.
صدر منه
So,
بلاغات
if there is any report from his side,
على أن مثلا
it is accredited.
أول رجب
For example, the start of the first day of Rajab,
ما تسمى قنديل،
or also Qandil night,
هذه الليالي عقبه
or other nights.
عطلة في
So after that, it will be a holiday in school,
المدارس التي خاص للمسلمين مثلا في
which is
شبرا.
affiliated
كذلك إذا كان
to the north,
لا يرغبون
or even if students they don't want to go to a primary or preparatory or secondary school, in these days,
شعبان
the start of Rajab or Sha'ban or even Laylat al-Qadr,
يقدم الإمام
the Imam present a report
الرسمية إلى
for
وزارة
the
التعليم
government entity, the Ministry of
إلى
Education,
المدارس بأن غدا
and to
لو
notify the
وجه مرة
schools.
واحدة خلال
He can present it once
بأن خلال عام
in the new year that
2021
in
ستكون
2021
أعياد للمسلمين
the
وخاصة
Muslim holidays
قنديل
and
في
Qandil
الأيام
will
في هذه
be
الأيام.
in the following days.
خاصة في الأعياد
Also, especially during Eids,
الذين يقدمون الخدمة العسكرية
for people who serve in the army,
يقدم هذا
they
للجهات
can present
المسؤولة
this
وإذا
to
كان
the
هناك بالإمكان
authorities,
أن يعطى
and if it's possible,
العساكر
to give to the soldiers
يقضوا
and a holiday to spend these days with their families
أقربائهم.
or even relatives.
كما نرى أن المسلمون في
As we
هاتين
can see,
المدينتين
Muslims in these two cities, they live a good life,
مشترك
and also they coexist without any extremism with the others.
أهم الأسباب
The main reason
التي يجعل هذا الشعب
that make this nation
إنه يتعايش معا
that they
أسباب
coexist.
كثيرة وقد نذكر
There are
بعضها
many reasons,
أيضا ولكن بهذه المناسبة
but in this
أن
part,
اليونان كانت تحت سيطرة
Greece
الدولة العثمانية
was under the Ottomani power
500 سنة
for about 500 years,
المسلمون الآن
and also Muslims,
ينشؤون ويترعرعون
when they
في
are
هذه
raised up
المناطق
and live in these
ويسمعون
territories
الأذان
and hear
ويسمعون الصوت
Adhan
الكنيسة
and also the church.
والصبي وهو يكبر
So
يسأل
when they are
ما
raised
هذه
up,
الأصوات ما
they
هذه
ask,
ما
what
هذه
are these
الأغاني
sounds? This is Adhan for Muslims,
للنصارى
and this church sound for Christians. So they raise up with acceptance. Even for non-Muslims, they see these people, his colleague, his friend, his neighbor,
في
also
التجارة
his
في كل شيء
the people who sell.
يتربى بهذا
So
الشكل
they are raised up. They are our colleague. They are part of the society. In fact,
وهذا يستطيع أن يستوعب الأمر
to understand
المشاهد
this,
والمستمع
I mean the audience,
ليتصور النصارى في
and
مصر
also
أو
to
النصارى في
think, for
أي
example,
مكان
Christians
أو
in
النصارى
Egypt
في
or even Syria or
السودان
Jordan.
مثلا عكسه عندنا
The
كما لا
contrary is
توجد
here,
لا توجد مشاكل
as there are
للعيش
no problems for
في
living
مصر وفي
in
السودان
Egypt or
وفي
Syria
الأردن
or Jordan.
كذلك عندنا
The
هذا
same here.
يدل على أن الدنيا هذه
That show
ما
that
فيها
this world,
أي عقبات أو أي مشكلات
there is no
لكن هذه
hindrance.
الدنيا امتحان
This world is a test
نرى
for us.
ونجد أن الإنسان
And we can see that a human being
يخاصم والده
sometimes
والعكس وكذلك بين الإخوة
argue with his father or even his brothers.
المشكلة هنا
The problem here,
عندما يحصل هذا
when this happens
من طرف يدين لدين آخر والطرف الآخر
from
يدين لدين
a
آخر
Muslim with non-Muslim
فيجعلون
or other religions
هذا
together,
الأمر بأنها
that's
قضية
considered
دينية
as
وقومية
a conflict between religion or a
وهذا
race conflict,
مما لا يحصلوه أو إذا
which is
حصل يحصل
not
نادرا
real
وهذا يكون عيب
and happen very rare.
للشخصين الذين
It's really
تخاصما
shame for these two persons
لأنهما
who
لا يعرفان
argued because of their religions,
دينهما ولا
because they don't
عرفا
know their religions. If they
الاجتماع
knew these two religions in a good way
حصل
and
هذا
followed
الأمر
it in a proper way, that will not happen,
التشاحن أو
or
التعصب
even this conflict
فيما بينهم
between them.
ولا شك أن هذين الجزيرتين باعتبار أنهما
No wonder
جزيرتين
these two
سياحيتين
islands,
من
it's
الناحية الدينية
tourism islands, and
المسلمون
also
فيها يحتاجون إلى
Muslims here, they need to be educated about their religion and also
الإسلامي
how to abide to
وهذا
the
يحتاج إليه
instructions of Islam.
يحتاجون أن يكون الأئمة وكل
So
من
imams here
يكون أن
and
يكون
also a good
مخلصا
Muslim, they need to be
كلمته
faithful
وأن يكون
in their words and
الإسلام
also to give
على
or
صورته
present Islam
الحقيقية
in its real
الناس
picture,
يريدون أن يروا
because
منا
people, they would like to see
يريدون
from
أن
us
يستمعوا منا لا
and also they would like to listen
وعليهم أن
from us, not about us. They would like to witness Islam with their naked eyes so we can be a model, as Allah said to us that you have good model in Prophet Muhammad for people who believe in Allah and the day of doom. So, dear brothers, we move now to the second part, which is Muslims who live in Greece, except Rhodos, Kos, islands, and also outside of Thracia, which I am living at now. We will try to shed light as much as possible to cover the third one. Now we have Crete Island, and thank God I visited these areas and I saw the Muslims how they live in Crete, especially for the immigrants who live there. And also, as you know, I will not say all, but most, that Muslims in Crete immigrated to Rhodos or even immigrated to Syria or even Lebanon. So no Muslim left in this island, but in Rhodos, still there is Muslims. In this island, you can see different mosques, but there are museums. But because there are no Muslims and the immigrants, they opened prayer rooms for them in Khania, Rathium, or Thriti. Now we move to Athena, where the whole world spoke about the capital in the European Union when there is no official mosque, and it was accused and attacked. The law, even before, there was no Muslims in Athena except few who moved from other areas or even immigrants. So now the number increased to 2,000 Muslims before of the economic crisis, and now they are less because they immigrated to other European countries, and it is the same also for Muslims in Crete also. Only a few left. Now there is an official mosque in Athena, opens from the government, and there is many talks about it. At the beginning, of course, there's different discussions because it's new, and we are a human. Allah, He is the perfect and who creates things imperfect. As He said, Allah created you. So when He created Adam, till our time until the day of judgment, we can see the beauty of a human being. This is the creation of Allah. We can see the creation of Allah and the difference between the creation of a human being. So, if people commit mistake, that we need to know that this person is working because he commit mistakes. For that he do works. If he is committing mistakes, that indicate that he is working. And sure, there will be mistakes. And sure, it will be correct things, and it can be correct. He can be corrected. So we can. There is mosque that's not working, and there is many prayer rooms, more than 30 prayer rooms since 1980. And you can see it's very similar. Some of them it is in a good shape.
وهنا أود
And here I would like to say
أن أذكر مع الأسف
and mention,
المشكلات
unfortunately,
التي في العالم
the
الإسلامي
problems in the Muslim world
معها إلى
immigrate
معها إلى دولنا
to this country.
فهذا يكون هذا جامع
So some people say this mosque for Pakistan,
للبنغلاديش وهذا
and
جامع
this other mosque for Bangladesh,
عربي وهذا
and this is for Arab world, and this is for Egyptian.
هذا
Similar
له
these ideas,
سلبيات
and that have got negative impact
في بداية
in
رمضان
the implementation at the start of Ramadan
نهاية رمضان وفي
or
الأيام
ending Ramadan or Eid declaration.
هذا هو الجامع الذي
This is
فتح جديدا
the new official mosque in Athens,
هذه الصورة عنها وهذا هو الجامع
and this is the mosque,
من
the
بعد
old one.
في مسجد آخر
You can see another mosque also.
طبعا المتحف وهو
This
في
is a museum in the
طبعا
center also
آخر على أنه
for other mosques,
العاصمة طبعا
as it is on the outskirts of the capital. Definitely, it's not enough.
المسلمون في أثينا
Muslims in
في
Athens,
أماكن مختلفة
they are
ليس في
spread
مكان واحد
around Athens.
حاول أن يذهب
So if you try to go
خمس صلوات أو
to the mosque 5 times a day,
سيكون له
maybe in the future,
إيجابيات أكثر
they will be
وننتقل
it
إلى
will be easier. Now we can move
ثاني مدينة كبيرة في اليونان
to the
مدينة
second largest city,
تسالونيكي فهنا يوجد
Thessaloniki. You can
كمتاحف
see different mosques as museums
تبادل المسلمين من
because there are no
حين
Muslims,
كان صار هناك تبادل سكاني ما بين
as there was exchange in population
وتركيا
between Greece and Turkey,
هاجر المسلمون
and the Muslims immigrated except
منطقة ثراكيا وما عدا
Thracia
رودوس وكوس
and Rhodos and Kos.
هاجروا إلى تركيا
Muslims immigrated to Turkey, and Christians in Turkey they immigrated to Greece.
استمر الحال
For
كما هو
that,
عليه الآن
it remained as is.
مصليات في
You can find different praying room in Salamak.
جامع يهودي دنما
This is mosque called Yahudi Dunma.
يفتح أحيانا
Sometimes it's open in the Eid,
كانت زيارة
and this was a visit for
الخيرية في
students, charity school in our area, and they were praying there
التي
الظهر pray
ذهبت
with the group
لزيارة
to
مدينة
visit Selanik.
في أماكن أخرى
Also,
فيها
other parts of Greece, there's different mosques like Larissa, Kawala, Yanina.
من المسلمين
You
سواء
can find
من
Muslims
أو من
in our
الذين
area
هاجروا إلى اليونان
or even who immigrated to Greece,
يحاولون أن
but
يجدوا لأنفسهم
they
مصليات
do their best to find praying room,
موجودة
and
هذه
for the mosques available there is mulaka, and some of them it was renovated and other needed to be renovated.
أيها الإخوة من خلال عرضنا
So
إخواننا بجزيرة كريتي وأثينا والسلانيك ومدن أخرى
from the presentation, you can see
تحديات عديدة
they are facing different challenges
كونهم كالرحل يعني
because
ليسوا
they are
ثابتين
moving a lot. They are not
عندهم إقامة فإذا
residing in an area.
وجد
For that,
أشياء لنفسه ما يعقبه
if
يترك
he finds something better, he leave to
سواء
another area
بلده إن
or he
يستطيع
return back to his country.
يعمل أن يكون في بلده فتح محلا
Even
أو اشترى
in his
أراضي
country, if he is opening a store or buying land
ينتقل إلى دولة أوروبية
or
أخرى
moving to another European country.
فهؤلاء طبعا يتأثرون
So
بكل
that have impact
ما يحصل في
in everything that's happening in their country,
الأمور السياسية
like political matters.
إذا حصل هناك أشياء أخرى
For example, if there is a problem,
بالنسبة لموتى المسلمين في
for Muslims who pass away, in these areas.
للأسف معظم
Unfortunately,
المسلمين في هذه
most people in these areas,
سواء كانت في كريتي أو في
in
أثينا أو في
Crete,
سالونيك
Athens, or
كانوا
Salonique,
ينتسبون
if they are
إلى
affiliated
دولة أخرى
to another country,
الإمارات تساعده وتتحمل
the embassy
الغالب
help them
يتحمل
and they carry
المصاريف
the
لإرجاعه
costs
إلى بلده
of returning him to his country,
والسبب في ذلك
especially if their family would like to do so.
والمسلمون الذين هم من
But
منطقة
for
التالية
Muslims
أيضا
in our area,
يأتون
they
بموتاهم
bring
إلى المنطقة
their
فهؤلاء
death
إذا
family
كانوا
to this area
يموتون
if they would like
المسلمين في مقابر المسلمين
to bury them
يأتون
in the Muslim area.
الجثة أو الميت أو
They
المرحوم
bring the
إلى
corpse.
المنطقة هناك طبعا بالنسبة لسالونيك هي قريبة
For
نوعا
Saloniki,
ما إلى
it's
منطقتنا
close a
250
little bit,
كيلومتر تقريبا
around
بالنسبة
250 kilometers.
في أثينا فهي
But
بعيدة
in
عن
Athens, it's far
منطقتنا
away
أحيانا
from our area.
يأتون بالطائرة
So
أحيانا
sometimes they fly, they use the airplane to
ويوجد
move.
من
And now,
المسلمين الذين
from Muslims
خدموا الخدمة العسكرية
who serve in the
في
army
يونان ويسكنون في
in
أثينا
Greece and they live in
يكونون
Athens.
غالبا ما يكون والدهم من العالم
So maybe
الإسلامي
their word from the
والدتهم
Muslim
يونانية ثم
or even mother in Greece,
أو لا يسلم فهو
Greek mother,
يعني
and he is free to be
يستقبل
Muslim or non-Muslim.
الآن هم يحاولون أن
So
يجدوا
they try
طريقة بأن يخصص مكان
to
خاص
allocate
لدفن
a cemetery
موتى المسلمين
to bury
في هذه
the
المناطق.
dead Muslims in these areas.
ننتقل إلى
Now we
الصف
move
الثالث
to the
المسلمين
third part,
الذين يعيشون
the
في
Muslims
تراكيا بشمال
who live
أفريقيا.
in Trakia in the north.
هذا هو مربط الفرس.
And this is very critical
هذه
point.
القضية يحتاج إلى فيها بإمكاننا نتحدث فيه
We can
كلاما
speak about it
كثيرا
very
وتفصيلا
long,
عديدة وكثيرة ولا أدري الوقت
but I don't
سيكفينا
know if the time will be enough.
سنحاول أن نلقي نظرة عامة
As you know, we will have a general look
أريد للمستمع
and we
الكريم
will give the audience
صورة مصغرة عن
a
هذه
small picture
المنطقة
about
ثم
this area,
في المستقبل لعل لنا أن نعود إلى مرة
and
أخرى إلى
maybe
هذه المنطقة حتى
we can go back to this area
نعطي صورة أكثر من
to
ماذا
go in more
سنتحدث
details.
عليه. المسلمون في ثراكيا
So Muslims in
المسلمين
Trakia,
المشاهد الكريم
these Muslims,
تركوا مقابل
they
النصارى
were
في اسطنبول
left in return on in exchange for the Christians in Istanbul, and according to the rights.
تسري
So these rights
سكان المنطقة إذا
for
كانوا
the
يسكنون في هذه
residents if they
المنطقة
are living
بمعنى
here.
أن لو عائلة
If
30
there is a
أو
family
50
or
أو
30
100
families, 50 families, for example, or 100,
تنتقل
if they agreed
من
to
هذه
move
المنطقة من
from
ثراكيا
this
إلى
area
أثينا مثلا
to
أو
Athens,
إلى
to
هذه
Athens or
تلك
Salami,
الحقوق مع
the
هذه
rights will not move
الأعضاء
with them
إلى تلك المنطقة بل
to
تبقى
other area. It will remain, the rights
المنطقة
remain in this area only.
هذه المنطقة تشمل ثلاثة
This
محافظات
area, there is
محافظة
3
إفروس
states like
ومحافظة
Evros,
رودوبي ومحافظة
Rodobi,
إكسانتي
and
إذا نظرنا
Xanthi.
إليها من الناحية بلغاريا أو
If we look at them
تركيا أما إذا نظرنا إليها من قبل من أثينا يأتي
from
أولا
Athens,
إكسانتي ثم
Oxanthi,
رودوبي ثم
Rodobi,
إفروس
and
هذه المناطق
Evros.
الثلاثة إفروس
These
مركزها
areas
ألكسندروبولي
are
ومحافظة
Odrbos and there's center
مركزها كوموتيني ومحافظة
and
إكسانتي
Rodobi,
مركزها
Komontobi, and
هذه
Exanti, there's Exanti the same.
الثلاثة
In this way,
قدمنا لكم
we
نموذج
presented to you
للمنطقة
a
الثلاثة
model about the 3 areas.
بإمكاننا أن نتحدث
We can speak also
لهذه النقاط الثلاثة
for these 3
بثلاثة
points.
وجهات النقطة
In
الأولى
in three aspects: education in these three areas, like schools and also mosques, and the second one is awqaf, the third one is ifta centers. Here, it may be difficult for the listener or even the audience to understand these concepts. For schools, some schools they are primary that are only for Muslims, and the number is more than 100 school in primary for Muslims. Why we say it's private or special for Muslims? That people who study here in this primary school they are only Muslims, but the teachers even they are Greek language teachers or even Muslims who teach Islamic studies. They are affiliated to the Ministry of Education and they take their salaries, so they are government employees. When Muslims were left in these areas, especially at early years like 1923, the villagers and most of these schools they were living in villages, and in villages only Muslims, only rare numbers you will find Christians living within Muslims. In these schools, teach Islamic studies in Turkish. Even not most Muslims, they are not speaking in the past Turkish language. Now they learn the Turkish language because of these channels and these schools. So these schools they teach Holy Quran, morals, praying instruction in Turkish language. At the early years, it used to be taught in Othmani language, Othmani letters, which is very similar to the Arabic letters, except for some, like Ja or Na or Ga, and other letters, which is very similar to the Persian language, like Sha and Ja. By time, it converted from Othmani language to the Turkish language. But here there is special characteristic that Muslim he has the right to send his son to this special school, but Christian can't join it. But Muslim he can send his son to the Greek school where Islamic study is not taught. And recently, in 1913 or 2013, where people send their kids to the governmental school, they wanted to send their students to other school because they have got different system. And here, the Greek government saw Muslim students they study in Greek schools, and Islamic studies in primary start in grade 3 till grade 6, 6 years, and preparatory 3 and secondary 3. So they introduced Islamic studies teachers in these schools. As we said, they are Greek schools, and these schools it was built in the past next to the mosque, and the teacher, he was imam, and he used to also to teach Islamic studies in these schools. So that was the case till now. The imam become an imam and teacher is a teacher. Here also we can find a picture for a mosque, and this view from our area. This is a school. As we can see, here is the mosque, here is the school. So this is the case most of time. School and mosque next to each other. The imam used to teach Islamic studies, and in praying time he come to the mosque. In the past, it was from day to night, and they go during praying time to the mosque. And on Thursday, it was a day for reading the Holy Quran, as it was called, the short verses from Al-Fil to An-Nas. And also it was called Al-Mawlid during the different occasions, like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, his birthday, or in the middle of Sha'ban. This is a primary school in the area, and this is where we have seen it. Also another school. This is a preparatory and secondary school. It's called a charity school. So here we find primary, more than 100 primary school, and we have also cycle 2 and 3, 4 schools, which we consider them religious school in addition to other subjects that is taught in the public schools. And also there is Islamic studies, Holy Quran, Arabic language, الفقه, التفسير, الحديث. الفقه also. So it's very similar that to give to the audience these schools, it's like Al Azhar in Egypt, and they teach all subjects. It's here, as we can see in Al Azhar, Sharia college, 5 years, and Sharia 4 years. This is a view in the school, and here from the charity school. Before we move to Al Waqf, there's developments. In 2005, the government opened more space for Muslims who are living in this area. And this is special for Muslims who are living in this area, especially for the language, and also to encourage them to attend the university. They open more space in the Greek universities for all specialties, where students start to go to these colleges without managing to finish because of the language, people start to send their kids to the Greek schools in primary and secondary schools in 2013. The government started to send Islamic studies teachers in the primary, preparatory, and secondary school in this area. Of course, Islamic studies is an optional subject, so parents need to write a notification that their kids want they to attend the Islamic studies 2 periods a week. And Alhamdulillah, for Muslims, they graduated from different universities, engineering, medicine. I would like to add that this charity school, it's boys and girls, and hijab is obligatory because it's a charity school and endowment. And here we consider it as Al Azhar, as you know. Building this school, the center in Jeddah, supported building this building. Of course, I would like to speak about the mosques. In each village, there is, or even the cities, you can find more than 15 mosques, and there is small prayer rooms where the Jum'ah not held, but they pray Maghrib, Al-Isha, and Al-Fajr, but for Al-Dhuhr wal-Asr, because there's small numbers and they are at work. But for the mosque in our area, they have special concept for Al-Masjid. It's only for a small praying room. The Imam in the cities, he gets his salary from the endowment, but in the villages, they agree with him on a annual base to work as imam in the mosque. In each area, there is endowment, but for Rodobi, for example, it's more active because it has many endowment, but in Evros and Exasi, it's little. For mosques, they have got their own awqaf because in each mosque, there's in the villages, they have a committee to run the endowment for the mosques, and some of them they are for schools. And here we can give you a small brief about the activities which the awqaf is doing, and also we can say the same about the other two exasi. This is the old building for awqaf, and now we can see the new building here, and this is the sign. There was a great role for this endowment in Cologne to me, especially during this pandemic, and it helped the schools, regardless, regardless, it's Muslim schools or non-Muslim schools, or even the people who help, they are Muslims or non-Muslims, and that here the supervisor for the historical library also they provide support for the special education, special needs, where they provided, for example, here oxygen machine. This is also some pictures for the charity that or aid that was provided because of pandemic. And really, people here they cooperated in such difficult time. And also, we can see they distributed wheelchairs for special need people or and the needy people. This is this picture 2 weeks ago because of the floods in one village, and they brought these aids to support the villagers. This picture from what they provide the families with during this time. Also, part of Al Awqaf work. In each place and time, there is different requirement and necessity. For example, people in the past they used to do al ghusl for the dead people at home, but now and in the recent years, most people they start to live in buildings, not a floor house. So it become washing the dead bodies is difficult, and some mosques or even praying room they attached a small place for washing the dead people. And this we can see here a new washing building for dead people. And this is for Muslims who die here, or even for Muslims from outside of this area, from the capital, which facilitate to prepare the dead person before got buried. Also, here we can see some precaution images in each mosque. This is for sanitizers, and here cleaning the school for the charity, doing cleaning for the charity school. This is um, like a dormitory for students, and here is a mosque also for the students who are living in the charity school. So there is a mosque attached to it, especially for students who are coming from faraway areas. They can go and do transportation on a daily basis for that they live, especially for preparatory and secondary, and there is special location for girls. In fact, we move to the third point. We look here to the water in the half-filled cup. Some people look at the filled part, and some people look at the empty part of the cup. We believe that for all people who manage to give any help, so you have your deeds in in this life and also in the second life, and it will be a running deed, especially if you do it in a good way, and also you will find the good deed in this world. And Allah definitely know the intentions for people before doing the actions. The last point here, talking about the role of al-ifta. There is three ifta centers in Evro, also in Ditimotico. So al-ifta center, they have authority and power when the villagers choose the imam to assign him because he is qualified and people they agreed on this imam. So the center assign him because the imam has got a role in preparing the dead people,
المولود
and
الجديد
also when there is a new baby,
إذا تزوج شخص ما
and also
حفظ
when there is
قراءة
a marriage, he writes the marriage contract and present it to the IFTA center, and after that the center give another
وتقدم
document
إلى البلدية
that's
بهذا
present to the municipality. And here
مدني وشرعي.
we find a شرعي contract and also civil
لأنه
contract.
إذا حصل هناك خصومات
Also, if
ونزاعات
there is any conflict
يذهب
or
الحكم
argument,
بفصل الأمر إلى المفتي.
they go to the
طبعا
mufti.
الآن تغير بعض القوانين وبأن الشخص
Now
بإمكانه
there's
أن
rules
يعقد
that the people
عقد شرعي أو مدني
he is optional
إن
to
كان
do it
يتزوج
شرعي or
مباشرة
civil contract, marriage contract,
في هذه
without
الحالة
going to the
إذا
IFTA
حصلت
center. But in this
مشكلة
case,
فيما بين
if there is any problem
المتزوجين لا
between the
يحتاجون أن يذهبوا
couples,
إلى دار
they
الإفتاء
can't go to
لأنه
Al Ifta Center, but
هكذا
they go
إذا
to
معظم
the
المسلمين
civil law.
يرجحون
For that, most
الذهاب
of Muslims they prefer to
للعقد
go
في دار الإفتاء.
to the Al Ifta Center.
وطبعا في دار إفتاء في محافظة
Also, there is Ifta
روضوبي
Center in Rodobi in
وهناك
Komotini,
يشرف كما
and
في
also it overlook
إبرس وكذلك
and also oversee over us.
محافظة كسانسي دار
Also in
الإفتاء.
Ksansi,
طبعا في دار بالنسبة للمفتيين في
regarding the
التاسعة
Mufti person, there's different
من
issues.
عام
Since
1986 حصل هناك
1986,
مشكلة فيما
there
بين
was a great
المسلمين
problem between Muslims,
وتداخلت القوى
and
الخارجية
there was an
فقالوا
external
الآن
power, and after that they agreed,
ونريد أن
and we don't
نشغل
want
بالكم بهذه
to
المشكلة لأننا نرى
bring you the headache of
لا
speaking
يوجد
about it,
حل لهذه
because there
المشكلة
is no a solution for this problem.
جهلكم لهذه الأمور
Because sometimes you are not aware about these
سوف
matters will not have a
وهذا
negative or positive impact.
نكون قد
With
حاولنا
this,
أن نقدم
we
صورة
tried to give you a
ملخصة
picture in a
وقدمنا
brief,
هذه
and
الزيارة
also
عبر
we took you in a tour,
الإنترنت أو عبر الندوة
in a
التلفزيونية.
virtual tour,
نتمنى أن تكون
and we hope
لقاء
to
إن
meet
شاء الله
you in person
موجز
soon,
وسريع
face to face, and to visit
في
us in
النهاية
this
أود أن
area.
أذكر
At the
أيضا
end, I would like to mention
بأن
also
الحكومة اليونانية فتحت
that the Greek government they opened
عام
Islamic Sciences
2016 في مدينة
department
سيراميك
in Selanik
للجميع لكل من
for
يرغب
all
في الحضور
who would like
الدينية إليها
to
سواء كان
study or
مسلما
learn about
أو
Muslim
مسيحيا.
civilizations from Muslims or non-Muslims.
فكان هناك
But in the past,
أكاديمية خاصة كانت
there used to be an
للمسلمين
academy for Muslims
الذي
only,
خرج منها كان يكون
especially
مدرس
for people who graduated from it,
للجميع
used
ولكن إن
to
كان
teach in
الطلاب
the
يريدون
primary
التعلم
schools. But
ولم يوجد لهم
when
مكان
there's different schools, they
فنظروا
closed
إلى أكاديمية
this
خاصة
academy
للمسلمين ومكان
because there's no space to it.
فهذه
Instead of it, they opened this department
العلوم الإسلامية
for
للجميع
Islamic sciences for all
يدخلون إليها
Greek people. They can
وآخرين يمكنهم
enter it through
الاستفادة
an exam and the summation.
كل مشكلة يحاولون أن
And with
يجدوا
each problem, they
حلا.
try to find a
وقد يكون
solution.
هذا الحل
Sometimes the
متأخر وقد
solution
يكون هذا الحل
is
ممكن أن
late,
يتأخر
but sometimes the solution also
ونحاول
make it more complicated. And for that, we are doing our best
حلا
to
لمثل هذه
find a good
المشكلات.
solution for
وفي
these
النهاية
problems. At the end,
لا شك أن هناك كما
no
قلنا
doubt, as we
الأمور
say,
التي قد يصعب
there's other issues. It's
فهمها للبعض.
difficult, and some people say it
أنا
from different angle.
كمسلم
But for me, as a Muslim, I am living here in
ولو
Greece.
أردت أن أعيش
If
في
I have the
مكان آخر
option to live in another place,
لاخترت
I
مكان
will not
آخر
move for another place, even except for Mecca or Al Medina. Otherwise, I would like to remain here in this village, in this area. And by that, I would like to thank you very much for your good attention, and I am ready to answer any question. Definitely, I am ready to answer any question from your side. And if I don't know, I will say I don't know.
شكرا جزيلا لك دكتور
Thank you very much,
أغلو على
Dr.
كل
Yushar Oglo, for all the information you spoke
الجوانب
about and the
العلمية
facts
في
about
هولندا
the Muslims' life
كيف
in
أوجدتم
Greece.
هذا الاختلاف
You give us an idea that the difference between the people is a principle in this world, and we are equal in front of Allah.
أحوال المسلمين
And you
في
spoke about the
هولندا
different Muslim life from legal, educational, and also economical aspect, and how Alifta centers they are working to achieve their ambitions. And also, you say to the belonging to the religion doesn't contradict to belonging to the nation, which is very important principle that the Muslim Council would like to reach. This is a question, if you allow me, Sheikh Yashar.
هل يمكن أن تتحدث لنا عن أبرز
Can you please speak to us about
بين
the
المسلمين وغير
models
المسلمين
of coexistence
التضامن
or
والتكاتف
even
والتعاون
some
في مواجهة
solidarity pictures between
وخاصة في
Muslims and
مواجهة
non-Muslims,
كوفيد 19
especially in facing
ودوره
COVID-19,
في الإسهام
and the
على
role
الحياة المجتمعية
of
ودوره في
helping the
بناء
community
دولتهم
and
اليونانية
building the Greek country in these
نعم
conditions?
بكل سرور.
Sure, with pleasure.
الحقيقة يا إخوة،
In fact,
عندما نتحدث مثل
when
هذا
we speak
يتبادر إلى الذهن
here
كأن هناك مشكلة،
that there is a problem,
ونحن
in
لا
fact,
نحس
we don't feel
بمشكلة أبدا.
there is a problem
حتى
at all.
في العهد القريب
Even
النصراني لا
recently,
يثق في المسلم
the
أكثر
Christian
مما كانوا
trust
يثقون فيما بينهم،
Muslim more than
فيصبح
what they
هناك
trust another
اتفاق
Christian.
ووعد،
If the
ويصبح
Muslims say
أكثر مما
finish
كان
and they shake
يثق
hands, and
كثيرا
that's what used to happen,
في الأغنياء
especially
وفيما
in
بينهم في
selling
التجارة.
goats or even
المسلم
in a
إذا
trade.
قال أنا
When
بعتك
Muslims say
يمكن
I sold it to you, he will not go back on
لا
his word.
يحس بالوصول
We can't feel that we
حقيقة.
are strangers between us here.
فإذا كان في أعيادهم نعيد
So
فيهم
even in their holidays, we greet each other in their holidays and in our holidays.
وخاصة في قد يكون الآن بعض
And
المسلمين غير
here,
ملتزمين،
even some Muslims,
لا تحس بأن
they
هذا
are not committed
بغير حجاب، لا تحس
with
بأن هذا
hijab or without
مسلم
hijab.
أو غير مسلم.
You don't differentiate between Muslim and non-Muslim.
لماذا؟ في الحقيقة
In fact,
أنا عشت هذا
I
في
lived
مصر.
this
لا
in
تحس
Egypt.
بأن
You
هذا
can't
الشخص
feel this
المسلم
person
هو مسلم أو
he's
لا تحس.
Christian or Muslim.
يعني
You
مثلا
don't know,
ممكن صاحب تاكسي
except if he
وعنده
has a taxi and there is a
مسيحي
cross in his
أو شيء
car
هذا لا تحس
or other
بأنه
thing, but you don't feel. He is very kind to you and he deals with you in a nice
مثلا
way.
في هذا الكوفيد
For example, during COVID,
قدمنا
the
مساعدات،
endowment
ايباد
give
مجانيه
aid, give
لتدريس
aid and help,
الاطفال، قدم
especially if, during
مساعدات
remote
للاطفال
learning
ولم
for
يفرط،
kids and
وقدم
students.
مساعدات للمستشفى ولم
And
يفرط،
also they help the
وقدم للاطفال
hospitals.
حقائب بعض الهدايا ولم يفرط.
And also there was for students
يعني
in schools.
تحدثنا في هذا كأن
If we
مشكلة
spoke about
ما
it,
هنا
we give an
نحن،
impression there is a
لا
problem.
لا يوجد
But
أي
here we
مشكلة.
want to say there is
هنا
no
بدأت
problem.
النقطة،
The point
أن
here
الأمور إذا دخلت فيها
that
السياسة
things when we put politics in
ومصالح
it and the interests of
خارجية
different
أو كذا،
or
من ثم
external
هنا يبدأ
parties, here
الأمور
start things
تتعكر
to
فيما بين
complicate,
الجهات الرسمية. أما الشعب
especially
لا يحس
from the authorities, but the people,
حينما
they
ظهر
don't
داعش وحينما ظهرت
feel that. But when ISIS
القتل
emerged and we have
الجماعي
seen the
يعني
vicious
يستغربون
killing,
من أن يكون هذا
Christians
الإنسان
used
لأنهم لم
to
يروا أبدا
surprise
ولم
and
يتخيلوا
also
طيلة
shocked
هذه العصور
to know the
أن
Muslims
نحن
are doing
نعيش
this
معا جميعا
because we are
في
living
صحراء
together
واحدة
for a long
من
time and we
بينما
haven't seen
فيما بيننا
similar thing
سموم
happening.
أساسها الدين لم يحصل فهم استغربوا
For
كيف
that,
مثل
people
هذا
got
الأمر إلى
surprised to
المسلمين
see what
هذا
ISIS
وبالنسبة
done in the name of
للمسلمين
Islam.
الذين
For
يعيشون
Muslims who are living
يعيشون مع غير المسلمين في هذه المناطق
with non-Muslims
لماذا
in these
صاروا
areas.
لأنهم
But for
لم
Christians
يتعايشوا مع المسلمين
who lived with
لذلك يكون هذا
non-Muslims,
الخوف
they have this
في هذه
phobia from Muslims.
المنطقة وفي
But with
هذه
areas that lived with
الأراضي
Muslims
أو
like Rhodos or Kors or other
الأشخاص
areas,
الذين هم تعايشوا مع
or
المسلمين
for
المهاجرين
Muslims or Christians who live with immigrants,
لم يحسوا بهذا
they haven't felt this
لا يؤمنون بهذه
strange or
الظاهرة
phobia.
لأنهم لم يروا
They
لم
haven't believed
لم
from what
يروا
they have seen on TVs and
لا
media
ما سمع
because they believe more in what they have witnessed from Muslims
لأنه
they
سمع
lived with.
مسلما من
They can't believe that Muslims in other areas they went or they affiliated
الإرهابية التي
to terrorist
تحارب
groups which
بغير حق
fight without any right
يقدم له
and also
آمال
to give
وخيالات
false hopes for
يصوروا
these people,
بأن الرسول
especially
ينتظره
when we
في هذا
talk about
المكان
that Prophet Muhammad and the Hur
ينتظره
al-Ain
لم يسمع
waiting for you after you kill each other.
التحق بمثل
We
هذه
haven't heard any people from our area they affiliated to these groups and Muslims, thank God.
علاقتهم
They haven't
بالعالم
interrupted
الإسلامي
the relation with the Islamic
لم
world
يروا العهد القديم
since the old
وكانوا
era.
يدرسون
Our scientists they
ويعرفون
live and
الإسلاميات
also they
في
go
الأزهر
to Al Azhar to
والجامعة
study
الإسلامية
or even to the Islamic
ويدرسون في
universities
بغداد
and even to Baghdad
والجامعات الدينية
and even for the other universities in
في
Turkey.
السنوات الأخيرة
And
في
recently,
الدينية
we talk about the religious universities where
الأئمة والخطباء
the Muslim girls with hijab they can study, but we haven't
على أن
lived such
تم
problems
الالتحاق في
that
المدرسة
a girl will not be allowed to go to the university.
دكتور يشار أوغلو
Dr.
مفتي
Yushar,
القاهرة وأستاذ العلوم
the
الإسلامية في الجامعة
previous
الأمريكية
Mufti deputy
جامعة
and a
أوروبا
teacher in Aristo
ومدير
Taunus, the governmental university in
السفارة اليونانية
Stanuski in
على كل
Greece.
ما
I
قدمته
thank you very much for all the information and the great words which was in this webinar about the Muslims in Greece. And hopefully we will meet with you soon. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.